Cryptozoology is by its very nature mysterious, and thus we cannot say that anything we have presented here today or on our podcast in general is 100% true. But we will do our best to find the facts, to bring to you the most likely and plausible definition of these creatures on our Earth. So, without further ado, welcome to the show. How you doing, Syd?
I'm doing pretty good. So, as y'all probably know, this week's episode covers the Chupacabra and Goatman. And I know a lot of you are wondering, these monsters seem pretty different, but I do have a very valid reason on why they're on the same episode.
Okay, I was about to ask.
Okay, it's a very, very valid reason. Okay. So the Goatman and Chupacabra actually do share territory, which is the big reason why they're in the same episode. Second big reason on why they're in the same episode. So Chupacabra comes from two words. Cabra, which is goat, and chupar, which is the verb to suck. So it's goat sucker
now, Syd?
And the Goatman.
Now, Syd, why is it called the goat sucker? Okay, Syd, now I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to preface this, that my mind is not going in the most, let's say, clean direction.
Well, that would be the point. And now, y'all know, this could...
Excuse me, Syd? Wait. Stop the podcast. I know we just started, but stop the podcast. Does the Chupacabra suck off goats? Wait, no, Syd, this is a valid... Wait, really?
The Chupacabra sucks goats, dude. We're gonna get to that. All that and more.
But, like, no. Like, sucks them. Syd.
Well, it sucks the life out of them. We'll get into it.
Okay,
ladies
Syd.
and gentlemen. This could be our consistent intro if we lowered our standards considerably.
Yeah, let's not.
It could be.
Let's not.
It sure could be. So here's the thing. Let's start talking. Okay, so first off, I know that the most interesting thing to you is probably the Chupacabra, because I did mention that it is cabra and chupar, which is goat and to suck. Yes?
Yeah, look, I do really, really want to dive into this right now.
All right.
But I think we do have a few things to cover first.
Okay.
Like, what is the, like, area? I've heard of a Goatman's Bridge. I'm not sure what that is.
Okay. So we're going to talk about the area because they do share territory, which is the big thing. So the Goatman is actually, so the Goatman does technically have a bridge. In Denton County in Texas, it's the old Alton Bridge, and everybody's like, oh, it's Goatman's Bridge. Because, like, there was a supposed Goatman sighting on the Goatman Bridge.
Oh.
Yes? Okay.
Isn't that Goatman a demon, though? Is that a cryptid? Can demons be cryptids? Hold on.
Can demons be cryptids?
Can demons be
we're going to get to that, because there is...
Ooh.
Yes, the Jersey Devil is an interesting middle ground of things that no one knows what's going on.
Okay. All right.
The biology in that is just so concerning. But back to Goatman, which is the important thing.
Biology. Well, the biology of Goatman is certainly concerning as well.
Oh, but we're going to get to why he...
Is this entertaining?
No.
Does he like...
The Chupacabra sucks on goats. Goatman actually was the result of a biological experiment failure.
Wait.
Yes.
Wait. Hold on, Syd. Did Chupacabra suck a goat and then... Wait, how does that even work?
Oh.
It wouldn't be half man.
Oh, no. Oh,
Wait,
no.
Syd. It wouldn't be half man.
Oh, no.
Would it? Is the Chupacabra part man, Syd?
Okay.
I don't know anything about any biology.
Let's talk about how Goatman happened before we get there.
Okay, yeah, no. Specifically, Chupacabra sucked off a goat and did some other things and 9 months later, there's Goatman.
No,
actually, I don't know how long the incubation period for. I'm sorry.
Things I didn't need to know. I should have researched beforehand the gestation period of a goat. Here's what happened. So for the Goatman,
I'm gonna look it up right
Goatman's territory is in Beltsville, Maryland. So there's two different possible myths on why, two different possible reasons on why this happened. First one is what I'm gonna call the hermit variation, which is an old man lived in the woods and got so deranged he went crazy and it like affected his appearance and he became half goat.
Oh, hey Sid.
Yeah?
150 days
for a goat
gestation. Yeah.
Isn't the human gestation period like 90? That can't be right. That can't be right. We need to edit that out.
That's certainly not right, Sid.
Not right. It can't be right.
Sid, right. No, it's 9 months.
It's 9 months
versus 150
I don't know how many days are in a month.
Like 30? Sid?
Okay, so if 30 days times 9 months, it's at least 210 days.
That's a lot of days.
That's a lot of days. That's significantly more.
It's like twice. So do you think it'd be like a middle ground? Like maybe 200 days?
Well, I reckon if a goat is like, what did you say, 150?
Mm-hmm.
150 and 210. Were those two options? 210 and...
Oh, okay. So it'd be like 170.
You'd end up with like 170, 175. Yeah. Okay, so, but that's not what happened to him. Goatman...
Actually, probably closer to like 180. Look, we don't need to map this one out.
We're not.
Folks,
we should
if you're playing along at home, don't.
Okay, if you're calculating at home, reconsider.
Reconsider more than just what's going on here.
Okay. Look, at least you're not the person... Because I was sitting there and I was thinking 9 months. And I know that the human gestation period is not 90 days, because that doesn't make any sense. But
that's completely absurd, Sid.
But in my mind, I was like, 9 months. That's about like 10 days a month, right? And like... We're getting off track.
It's actually like 3 times that.
Yeah, we're getting off track. So Goatman. The first is the hermit variation, which he talks about.
Okay.
The second is the fact...
So that's just a man in the woods.
Okay, second is that he was a... Okay, so in Beltsville, there's a place called the Beltsville Agricultural Research Center, right? And they do a whole bunch of different research on like crops and animals and livestock and how that goes. So the thing was, there was this tale that there was a scientist who was researching goats, right? And he was attempting to do an experiment on the goat, and something went horribly wrong, like a la The Fly. And
so it's like Hulk.
He became
the
half
worst
man,
version,
half goat, and just like
and all gamma radiation coming to theaters.
This
Hulk 2. We fucked this one up.
Oh, dude, we really buggered this one up good.
Hulk 2. We fucked this one up. We did it bad.
We did a real big goof on that one. No, but so it's like he was experimenting on goats, it went wrong, and he became like a half human, half goat. So it's very much like all of the, as I said, all of The Fly. Half human, half goat. And he's got so, like, it affected his brain, I guess, so he just got an axe and started attacking things. There was, like, a recording of, like, some type of small pet that had been killed, and everyone was like, the Goatman did it. And I'm like, the Goatman probably has better things to do than, like, beating up small dogs with an axe.
You don't know his life. Like, maybe that's, like, his whole thing. He's trying to establish a brand for himself on the YouTubes.
If the brand you've chosen in 1975 establishing a YouTube brand.
He's a couple years early there for YouTube, huh? Like 80...
But he has to establish that brand early. Get that copyright, Goatman.
Get the copyright, Goatman, yeah. No,
yeah, so the only big, like, common thread between the Goatman in Maryland and the Goatman's Bridge in Texas is the fact that both of them wield an axe. And I don't know why that's a common thing where people are like, oh, they're armed with an axe. Like, I'm more terrified of the hooves. I don't know if you guys have ever been charged by, like, a cloven-hoofed animal, But those things will mess you up.
I've got a really, really quick question, and this one's a deep cut. Do you think Lil Wayne is the Goatman?
Do I think what?
Lil Wayne is the Goatman. Syd, he's got hooves.
Okay.
Now hear me out. He's got hooves. Which half is the goat half? The bottom half? Is it maybe just an escape, like, oh fuck, I don't know. Is it stair? Nope. That's like this thing you walk up. A fawn.
It's supposed to be like, oh, that's just a satyr at that point.
A satyr, that's the word I was looking for.
Well, a fawn and a satyr
are essentially the same thing.
Virtually the same concept from different mythologies.
Yeah.
A fawn is Roman. Yeah. Because they're always fawning. No, they're angry in both cultures and they'll tear you to shreds without hesitation.
So is maybe the Goatman just a modern fawn that found an axe?
Tag yourself, I'm the fawn that ended up accidentally in Maryland.
And it was like, this seems pretty cool. What is this? A wood axe? I can use it for other things. I'm challenging the norm.
I'll fight the norm. Like, I don't use a sword. I'm a modern satyr. I use an axe.
I'll fight this.
They're nature spirits, though, so I really don't feel like they would be armed with an axe.
Maybe it's like the tree's justice. I don't know.
Trees. Goatman 2, Electric Boogaloo. The satyrs are back, and this time, it's personal. And it's just him just taking out a car with an axe. Because that's what they said it would... Okay, so I had to do research because I did not know what a lover's lane was.
Mm-hmm. It's where you would, like, drive. Like the Zodiac killer killed a bunch of people on a lover's lane.
Yes, I did not know what that was. Because they were like, a lover's lane. And I thought that was just a road name for, like, the longest time. I was convinced that there were just multiple roads with the name Lover's Lane. And I'm like, that's cute.
And it's just like, oh, it's a theme. He's theming his murders on just killing on this one particular street.
That's what I thought. Because that made sense to me.
It's pretty straightforward.
I was like, because that way, I'm like, he has a place that he could just go home to. And at that point, like, if the street you lived on was named Lover's Lane, I feel like I'd be pretty pissed too. Like, the property value has got to be terrible.
Oh. Hey, Syd.
Yeah?
There's... In our hometown, there's...
Yeah.
Oh, God, I don't remember what street it is, but it's a dope street name, and on this street lives the only one in our entire zip code, the house 6969. Which is fucking fantastic. And it's like a 2-minute drive from my house. I'm sorry, we got on a little detour here, but like, God, that must be like phenomenally expensive. I would pay my entire life savings of $4 for that house.
So the Goatman, we went over that he was like a failed science experiment and became all goopy,
Goopy? Wait,
and then
what?
he just started axe murdering people. He's goopy. The biggest like recurring thing that I saw in every article I read about him was the word mutilated.
Like goopy like oobleck?
Goopy like oozing. Like, not quite held together, because the muscles don't do the things that they're supposed to.
So oobleck. But a goat
Oobleck is a non-Newtonian fluid, and not an option for a human person. Or a Goatman person.
You don't know, he's half man, half goat, all cryptid. Could be oobleck. Half
man, half goat, all oobleck, apparently. So they do share territory, which is the main reason that we've put them in the same episode. Okay. So the Goatman is centered in the Beltsville, Maryland. Right?
What's up?
Chupacabra has sightings as far north as Maine.
Holy shit. Wait, so I could have seen the Chupacabra living up here in the Northeast?
Yes.
I want to see him. Doesn't he? I don't know what he looks like. Does he look like a dog? Because...
Oh, we got two things. So the Chupacabra has been seen everywhere from, like, Maine to Chile and Puerto Rico. Yes. Actually, the biggest first sighting was originally attributed to what the locals were calling El Vampiro de Mocha. I think is the pronunciation. Because it was the small town of Mocha. M-O-C-A was the town. Mm-hmm. And they had problems where a lot of the livestock were showing up, like, very mangy and drained with blood. So at first they were like, okay, vampire. And then the locals sat down and they thought about it, and they had a whole big meeting. And they're like, vampire? No. Satanic cult.
Satanic
and so
cult?
They had a whole big thing where they were convinced that this thing was a satanic cult, and then it started happening in more towns nearby. Ooh. And so then they were like, ooh. And then they took a closer look at all the things that had been drained, and it turns out that the common thread was that each animal that had been bitten had 3 holes in it. A downward-facing triangle hole and 2 fang-shaped puncture wounds. So it was basically turning them into blood-drained bowling balls.
Blood-drained bowling balls. Did anyone try that? I gotta know.
I feel like bowling a goat would be really, really hard. You asked what it looked like.
Yeah, so I have it up here on Google Images, and it looks like a dog.
I got 2 definitions for you, because there are 2 big ones. So the first definition was like a breed of like wild dogs that would drain blood, so it was like very low to the ground, quadruped, super mangy, a lot of fur, a lot of fang. And then you get into the more interesting one, which is the one that I find way more fun to talk about. So it's like a reptile with like greenish gray, like leathery, kind of like a cross between an alligator and a rhino.
Okay, this looks like the shit from Alien.
Yes, with the quills down its back.
Yeah,
it's like,
what the fuck?
It's supposed to be 3 to 4 feet high, and it hops like a kangaroo.
Like what? Excuse me?
Ba-boing, ba-boing. Yeah.
Excuse me?
Like Easter Bunny jump. Yeah. So just picture that thing. Instead of running at you, it's just gonna take 6-foot leaps.
6-foot leaps? Holy
at
shit,
your general direction.
Oh my god.
A kangaroo jumps up to 6 feet, you know? I feel like this thing could clear 6 feet.
6-foot vertical leap. That could jump over a man. Oh my god.
It could clear me, I know that much, and it could probably clear you too.
Barely. I'm 6'1" with the hair. Look.
So it'd just graze your hair?
Yeah.
It'd clear me with very little problem. I'm not 6 feet.
Wow.
But no, 6-foot horizontal leap.
There's a picture of it here with wings. Like, it's the same alien thing, but, like, the size of a man and with wings. And there's a picture of, like, a really, really terrified goat in the corner. And honestly, this goat just makes me so happy.
So, the recordings
I'm gonna post it on Twitter, just so everyone can see.
So yeah, they do share territory, because the Chupacabra is one of those cryptids where, like, everywhere thinks they've seen it, you know? Mm-hmm. Which makes me feel like it's a species, like there's more than one.
Ooh. Chupacabra. No, don't record that.
It's done. It's done. What's said is said.
Oh, fuck.
So, that's the main thing about the Chupacabra. The Goatman is a scientific abomination. He was a one-off,
me too.
like... Oh no. Oh no. So, like, as far as species classification goes, the Goatman is very much like a one sort of mutation. While the Chupacabra is a species. If the sightings are seen everywhere, that means that it's probably a migratory breed that goes everywhere from Puerto Rico and Chile up to Maine.
Wow. That's some adaptation right there.
I mean, you have to consider, if it's got those, like, greenish, like, that kind of, like, leathery, scaly type of skin, then that means it can live in the mud and be kind of cold-blooded set up. So they could be migratory.
Interesting.
And I know that reptiles usually aren't, like, a migratory type of creature.
Yeah.
But I feel like that would be horrible. Like, that's such a good image, is Chupacabras either on a road trip or, like, a fleet of them just launching themselves.
Just a bunch of them just, like, hopping down a solitary road. Like, yeah, we're on our way to Maine. I'm sorry, that's exactly what I imagine this thing sounding like. It's just like, hey, we're going to Maine. Let's go. Let's go suck some goats.
Let's go drain some blood and some Kool-Aid. Drink the Kool-Aid.
You want to be part of our cult? You gotta drink the Kool-Aid.
The Kool-Aid that comes in these weirdly shaped furry containers. With the hooves. They run, so you'll have to be fast. You'll have to have 6 feet horizontal leaps like the rest of us. Turn them into bloodless bowling balls. So it went from, like, a vampire kind of legend up until a whole species of creature, which is fascinating. A lot of these places, it is fitting to mention, do have very prevalent populations of, like, wild dogs and all of that. So the theory for those people who do not partake in the cryptozoological side
is just a bunch of wild dogs.
No, it's a pack of wild dogs. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna take it back to Goatman, because I need you guys to remember at the beginning of this, I mentioned that he came from the Beltsville Agricultural Research Center, right? Okay. I don't know if y'all know what they do in, like, research centers, but it's not like genetic mutations. Well, sometimes it is. But never anything that's like Goatman creating levels of experimentation, you know? So, either this is like one guy who worked at the Beltsville Agricultural Research Center in his basement experimenting with goats, which is a whole nother can of worms, or it just, like, it happened that way, you know, like, on accident. He was just running real fast and ran into a goat and they fused, and this is just what happened.
He was driving at 88 miles per hour.
And the goat just went straight through the windshield.
And they fused. Science.
Do.
It's a really interesting story that he, like, was a genetic mutation and or, like, just, like, an accident. And, like, this was in, like, 1975, right, that you talked about this?
Yeah.
So, like, comic books were a thing. This guy actively was like, I just fused into the first ever genetic mutation, and instead of showing myself to the world and becoming the first superhero, albeit the lamest one, he decided to become a fucking serial killer? Maybe he tried to be a hero. That's my thing. Maybe he tried to be a hero.
Getting your brain smashed with a goat is gonna lead to some interesting, like, mental functions. Just stop it.
Well, fair. And you gotta be a little bit out there to be experimenting on goats in your garage anyway. But here's my thing, is what if he tried to be a hero and he just got made fun of? And then he was like, fuck it. And he just grabbed the nearest thing, which happened to be an axe. Look, we explained that one. And he just started going around the country smacking people with his axe. Or,
and consider this, he wanted to be the bad guy. He's the bad guy.
Okay, Billie Eilish.
Like, oh my god, Billie Goat Eilish.
I'm sorry, we just dragged Billie Eilish.
I don't think that's dragging Billie Eilish. I think we've just associated her whole brand with the Goatman. And I don't think that's a bad thing. If somebody associated my brand with a cryptid and it was the Goatman, I feel like that'd be pretty cool.
Oh my god. Yeah, see, I would say I feel like that's like the lamest thing you could associate, the lamest cryptid you could associate your brand with. But I just don't want to get smacked by the Goatman, because, like, obviously he was bullied as a superhero, and that's why he became a supervillain.
I mean, part of me wonders if he was experimenting with goats to gain goat-related superpowers, and then I was thinking, like, what kind of superpowers would goat mutations give?
Maybe.
And the only thing I can think of is standing on, like, a 0.5 ledge.
Well,
and that's it.
Maybe he craved that mineral.
An agricultural, like, research center is not going to do, they're going to do probably, like, genetic, or they would now at least do genetic mutations, but I think in 1975, I'm not quite sure on the grasp we had at that point, you know? Yeah. Like, I'm sure
maybe this is where the demon thing comes in, Syd. Maybe he sold his soul to a demon to become part man, part goat, or to know what genetics were.
Goats go to hell. I think the main thing is, I would be fine encountering the Goatman. Up until the point where I have to make eye contact, because I don't know if you've ever looked into the eyes of a goat.
But they're dead and soulless and very, very
But
scary.
there's no God in the eyes of a goat.
There is no God. There is nothing behind the eyes of a goat. It's just a stone wall of hatred.
A void. You look into a goat's eyes and they know, like, they have seen beyond you into your future and your eventual death.
They have seen beyond your grave.
Okay. A chupacabra is 3 to 4 feet tall. Alright?
Okay, yeah, you hit that with a baseball bat and it's going over the closest fence. It's got its weird third tooth. I bet that thing comes out real easy. Like, you just bop it on the lower jaw, one tooth gone. How are they going to do this?
You're good to go.
Yeah.
But I feel like for a Goatman, I don't know how tall this guy was, and I don't know what this guy looked like. Now, we're assuming because he's a scientist, he's a nerd.
He's a nerd, so he does not have...
So he can't be, like,
Syd,
that buff. Yeah?
Syd, I know for sure that I would throw hands with this Goatman, but I do have some concerns. First of all, he's been wielding an axe since 1975, which is a long time to hold an axe because those things are heavy, and you get pretty built, nerd or not. But here's the thing. Here's the thing I've got above a Goatman, is I don't have the brain of a goat.
That's fair. That is a big leg up.
It is a big leg up. That's the leg I have down, though, is he has goat legs. Now, that's the real issue.
We don't know if he has goat legs, though.
Does he just have a goat
We don't know
head?
if he has horns either. The sightings on Goatman have been pretty far and few between, where they have been like, he looks like a shadowy, like a goat type shadowy man. And I'm like, well, a lot of people look like a goat-type shadowy man if you squint. You know, like...
Yeah, my neighbor David looks like a goat-type shadowy man. He's literally got this scraggly-ass goatee. And I'm sorry I'm roasting you, David, but that's what you get for
You be nice to your neighbor David.
I'm saying he's got a scraggly goat beard, and there's a lot of people that have a scraggly goat beard.
And I feel like the main thing that makes a Goatman is the presence of horns.
The presence of horns. Oh.
Yes.
Fuck, Syd. They gotta be horny.
Oh, that's so unfortunate.
They gotta be horny because, look, Chupacabra's coming.
Statement. Let's stack the Chupacabra and the Goatman up against each other really quick.
Okay.
Alright.
Pros. Chupacabra, 3 teeth. Cons. Goatman, probably also
species.
like 3 teeth.
Okay, no. That's not how goats or humans work. Although I feel like from 1975 onward, there's probably not great Goatman dental care.
Yeah, 1975.
You know?
Like, he's probably got like 3 teeth.
Pros of Goatman. He
has an axe.
Probably at least has some kind of smarts in there somewhere if he got himself enough smarts to get into this goat situation.
Well, here's the thing, Syd. He doesn't have enough smarts to get himself out. And as we established earlier,
fair.
He at least has a goat head. Which means he's got a goat brain.
He's got the horns.
He's got a goat brain.
He's got the horns and he can do the head ram thing.
Oh, that's true. Chupacabra can't head ram.
Chupacabra can't headbang, but Chupacabra does have the spikes on the back and the quills.
Like a hedgehog.
Quill kind of things.
But with a 6-foot vertical leap.
It's a 6-foot horizontal leap.
Oh.
Oh, God bless. Horizontal.
Horizontal. But, okay, wait, hold on a second, Syd. Did it specify the vertical leap?
It said 6-foot leap.
Okay,
so I'm assuming
I'm going to assume vertical, because honestly...
That's a horrifying image. Well, actually, it may have been vertical, because it would have like, a Chupacabra would have had to have cleared a fence.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So he's got to clear fences. And
that thing could clear Goatman if he's not over 6 feet tall with the horns.
Honestly, I'm gonna assume that this is just some small little nerd, and he was probably like 5'6", 5'7", probably 6 foot with the horns. Chupacabra can jump this bitch.
If the Chupacabra can jump him, then he can stab him right in the back while he's turned around. That axe can do nothing. Because especially if Chupacabra, if we're going with the idea that it's not a dog and instead the scaly option, that means that hide may be a little bit resistant to an axe that hasn't been sharpened since 1975.
Honestly, though, I'm gonna say that Goatman probably does sharpen his axe.
But he had to chop through cars in 1975. Because there were a bunch of cars attacked on, like, a lover's lane kind of situation. And so I'm feeling he chopped through either the doors or, like, the windows or something and just, like, got in there, you know? So the axe probably has been through some real tough shit.
Look, here's the thing, though, Syd. If, as I posited earlier, Lil Wayne is the Goatman, he has a lot of money.
I don't know how you ended up there.
He's got hooves. He's got a lot of money, and he could just, look, any Goatman could just go into Home Depot and get a new axe.
I mean...
He has the advantage of being man-like. Chupacabra can't go get a new axe. He looks like a little alien gremlin that hops like a kangaroo and leaps 6 foot vertically into the air.
That's fair. You make a fair and valid assumption. I think the main thing is an axe is very much a melee weapon, like a melee style weapon, so you can only get the first little bit in front of you and maybe behind you and maybe ranged if you can throw it real good, but then only once. The Chupacabra is very much like a kind of speed built fighter where it's very low and it's got like that tail and the big jumps. If that thing gets up in the air and Goatman can't reach it with the axe, he's screwed. Because that Chupacabra will come right down on him.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, maybe he could do, like, an overhand swing with this axe and just, like, get him right in the air, right? But, like, the horns would make that difficult.
You also got to consider that Goatman's probably, like, an old man at this point. He's tired.
That's true.
Like,
considering goats
he doesn't
live for,
want to
like,
go 6
years.
rounds. And people live for, like, what?
80?
100? 80?
So, like, split the difference.
Somewhere
like,
in there.
Goatman's probably...
Like,
look, Goatman's probably getting up there.
He's probably pretty darn old, you know? He's a tired man.
Not as spry as he used to be. Can't hack through car doors anymore.
Can't. No, and he doesn't want to hack through car doors anymore. The cars got built too good. He can't hack through all of them. 1975 cars are a whole lot different than 2019
Actually,
cars.
1975 cars were a lot sturdier than nowadays cars. Because now they're
they
engineered to, like, bend and break, right? So, like, Goatman would have a lot easier of a time getting into a modern-day car.
But we got cell phones now.
That's true.
And the Goatman's not going to come up if people are going to get him on camera. He doesn't want the Belleville Agricultural Center to figure out that he was doing weird goat things in his garage. He wants to keep that a secret.
Fired.
So now at this point, he's like, yeah... They don't know. He's been showing up to his ships wearing really intense hoods.
And just, like, super fun hats.
Goatman has convinced everyone he's a furry and to respect it.
It still works
at the Belleville Agricultural Center.
God. What if the Goatman is just, like, an eccentric furry?
A furry from 1975 with an actual goat head as the head.
You couldn't get fursuits back then. He probably just cut off a goat's head and put it on his head.
I bet you could get a fursuit back then. Like, people act like furries is a new thing, but it's probably not. I don't know a lot about,
no
furry culture.
Anything about the furry culture or what they do or who they are, but you know what? He said, I think we've lost the plot a little bit here.
No, Goatman is a eccentric furry is a valid argument because then, like, it would explain why the goat went missing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because then it's, like, a new thing where it's the goat went missing and then the Goatman had to, like, not, like, step in, per se, but, like, took up the mantle, quite literally, of being this goat, you know? And then he just became the Goatman.
Maybe that's why, like, furry culture has, like, become a huge thing. It's because the Goatman is perpetuating it, looking for his successor.
He's got to pass down the goat mantle, because there only can be one goat mantle. The goat mantle.
He's looking for the successor. Syd, we cracked the case.
Maybe his successor was why they were seen in Dutton County, Texas.
Ooh.
Isn't there, like, he sent the person down there to train, at this bridge, and he's like, you gotta start getting ready to take over the goat mantle. And his successor's like, okay, and is armed with an axe, because that's what Goatman does. And he just, like, accidentally takes out a car, and then the original Goatman comes back, and he's like, oh no, you took out a car, you gotta get back on a plane, and we're never gonna be seen again. And that's why there have been no more Goatman sightings on that bridge, is because the Goatman had to, like, duck out of his summer home with his apprentice so that they could go back into the woods in hiding so that his apprentice can get better.
Interesting. So you're saying, like, we're gonna see the Goatman come up in, like, another couple of years when he's good and trained and he knows how to use this axe.
Yeah, give it another, like, I don't know, 5 to 10 years. There may be a new Goatman on the block, and he's gonna be young and fresh and funky, and he's gonna go for it.
Funky and fresh Goatman. Oh my god.
Goatman's successor. It's gonna be important. Because the Chupacabra, we've established, is like a species. Mm-hmm. Like, they're just gonna keep perpetuating and doing their thing as much as they need to keep doing.
Okay.
The Goatman is, like, a legend.
Yeah.
He's got to pass down that mantle. He's got to, like...
He's got work to do.
Hype up. He does. He has to maintain the legacy. It's important. You can't be doing stupid things like accidentally killing people with an axe on the bridge in Texas. That's the summer home.
That's the summer home.
We don't do that.
We only do that
We're on
shit
vacation.
in Maryland. Dog.
Only in Maryland, because that is the Goatman M.O. It's to just fight everyone in Beltsville, Maryland.
That is the Goatman we know and love. Sorry, we made a mistake in Texas. Hey, Austin, you're cool. Dallas, you're cool. Also, a lot of guns.
County?
Less guns in Maryland.
Oh. That's fair. The Goatman probably has, like, less of a... You know what? Yeah.
Imagine if you walked into someone's home and there was, like, a goat head on the wall, and it's like, why did you shoot some random dude's goat? And he's like, no, that's the head of the Goatman. And it's like, it's completely useless that you didn't keep the rest of the man.
I feel like at the point, but if he is a furry, then he wouldn't have been able to, because it just would have been the head. So it would make sense to take and mount the head. Because if not, it's just like a regular person under there, man.
That's fair.
How wild would that be to walk into somebody's house and see, like, a stuffed and mounted Goatman?
Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. And why didn't you leave pants on it, dude? That's super weird. Well, sometimes the Chupacabra comes around.
Oh my god.
And I've just made it my mission to bring that joke back around as many times as possible.
We are going to end up in an awful, endless loop. Aren't we?
Oh,
it's going to be real bad, isn't it? I think that just about covers everything I had for those two. Yeah, unless we had anything else that we wanted to talk about. Do you want to talk about... We talked about fighting it. We talked about them fighting each other.
No, I think we're pretty good to wrap it up. How about we do a little...
I think we're good to wrap it up?
How about we do a little bit of exit stuff here, some housekeeping, if you will.
Absolutely,
all right,
we can. 100%.
Let's do that. So, if you want more from us, you want to see that picture of Goatman and the goat, or not Goatman. If you want to see that picture of Chupacabra and the goat that I posted to Twitter, go follow us on Twitter at @OnCryptids. That is at capital O-N, capital C-R-Y-P-T-I-D-S.
On Cryptids. And if you're interested in our bigger network, that's Midpoint Podcast, spelled M-Y-D, with a period for the point. Podcasts, P-O-D-C-A-S-T-S, on Twitter and Instagram. And if you have any cryptids you'd like to recommend to us, we recommend just adding our Twitter. Tweet at us. We'll have a look and we'll see what we can find. Use the hashtag CryptidsAreUs.
CryptidsAreUs.
And we'll look.
Or Cryptids on Cryptids.
Yeah.
Feel free to
Cryptids on Cryptids, either works.
On Cryptids. Thank you guys for listening, and
thank y'all so much for sticking with us, and
we'll see
y'all in the woods.
Count how many times I've been outdone by nihilism. Join the mods, it's an open heart.